Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going deep, really deep into the soul, as it's described in the Bible.
Awesome.
You gave us some pretty fascinating sources that explore how it's all put together, like what it's actually made of,
Yeah,
and how it connects to like the spiritual realms.
right.
So we're going to uncover how all these ancient teachings can guide us toward healing and maybe even some serious spiritual growth.
Oh, yeah. This stuff is powerful.
It really is. It's like they left us an ancient map to a healthier and way more fulfilling life, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. It's incredible how these teachings weave together the physical and the spiritual, offering practical guidance for a more meaningful life.
Okay, so let's unpack this a little bit.
Yeah.
Right from the start, this whole concept of spiritual anatomy, that's what really grabs me.
Yeah.
The sources compare the human body to a temple for the soul, even suggesting that each organ have like a spiritual counterpart. What are your thoughts on that?
It's a very powerful metaphor, isn't it? A temple, it's a place where the sacred resides, right?
So if our bodies are temples, it suggests that we're designed to house something holy, something sacred within us,
Yeah,
our souls.
I see.
And just like a physical temple has different chambers and functions, so too does our spiritual anatomy.
Right.
Each organ plays a unique role in our overall well-being.
One of the sources, Anatomy of the Soul, it compares the human body to the Torah's body of laws,
Yeah.
with each mitzvah representing an organ. What do you make of that comparison?
Oh, it's beautiful. It highlights the intricate connection between, the physical and the spiritual realms. Just as a healthy body needs all of its organs working together in harmony, a
Right.
fulfilling life, that requires us to engage with all aspects of the Torah. It suggests an amazing level of interconnectedness and purpose.
The sources mention Moses, who purified his physical body so intensely that he transcended, like, all physical limitations.
Wow.
Is this transformation, is that something attainable for everyone, do you think? That's a good question. The story of Moses, it really illustrates the potential for spiritual transformation that exists within each of us. Through practices like prayer, repentance, and acts of kindness, we can refine and elevate our souls, drawing closer to the divine.
Speaking of transformation, the story of Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden, that's a powerful metaphor, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Before the sin, Adam's body, it radiated godliness, but then he chose to eat from the tree of knowledge, and that lead to the death of his spiritual connection,
Right.
and then banishment from the garden. What does this tell us about the human condition?
The Garden of Eden represents a state of spiritual wholeness and harmony with God.
Right.
Adam's choice to eat from the tree of knowledge, it symbolizes the temptation we all face, to prioritize physical desires over spiritual growth. This choice, it creates a separation between our souls and the divine, leading to a sense of incompleteness and a yearning to return to that state of unity.
And then there's that revolving sword guarding Eden.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think about that?
The revolving sword, or the chambers of exchanges, it symbolizes the confusion and the conflicting desires we encounter in life. We are constantly bombarded with distractions and temptations that can lead us away from our spiritual path. This constant state of doubt and choice, it makes it so difficult to discern the true path to spiritual growth.
The sources suggest seeking guidance from tzaddikim, those righteous individuals who can help navigate these complexities.
Yeah.
What's your take on that?
Tzaddikim, they are individuals who have achieved such a high level of spiritual awareness and connection to the divine. They can offer guidance and support, helping us to see through the illusions of the material world
Right.
and stay focused on our spiritual journey.
You mentioned the soul's connection to the divine. The sources go deep into the soul's makeup, describing multiple layers.
Yes.
Nefesh, Ruach, Neshama, Chaya, and Yechidah. It's like way more profound than it sounds.
Think of it like a ladder. Each layer of the soul represents a higher level of spiritual awareness and connection to God. Nefesh, the most basic layer, connects us to our physical needs and desires. Ruach is associated with emotions and intellect,
Okay,
while Neshama, that allows for a much deeper understanding of the divine.
I see.
Chaya represents an even greater level of spiritual vitality and closeness to God. And
Okay.
finally, Yechidah is the highest level, representing a state of complete unity with the divine.
The sources describe the soul as towering so high above the body, really emphasizing its inherent greatness.
Yeah.
But there's this constant back and forth, this interplay between the force of attraction from God
Right.
and the force of repelling from materialism.
Right.
How do we navigate these opposing forces?
We are constantly pulled between our desire for spiritual fulfillment and the allure of the material world.
Right.
This tension, it's a natural part of the human experience. By focusing on practices that elevate our souls, such as prayer, study, and acts of kindness, we can strengthen our connection to God and resist the pull of material distractions.
It's fascinating that they compare the soul to God's candle, searching all the innards of the belly for meaning and satisfaction.
Yeah.
Such a vivid image.
This image, it speaks to the soul's yearning for fulfillment and purpose.
Sure.
Just as a candle, it illuminates the darkness.
Right.
Our souls, they seek to find meaning and illuminate our lives with divine light.
Right.
We are constantly searching for truth, connection, and a sense of belonging. This search can lead us down many paths, but ultimately it is the journey towards God that will bring true and lasting fulfillment.
The sources connect the attainment of higher soul levels to the story of the exchanged children. What can we learn from this story?
Well, in the story, you have a prince who's raised as a servant, completely unaware of his true identity. Eventually, he embarks on a journey to discover his true self.
Wow.
Similarly, our souls can become obscured by the illusions of the material world.
Right.
It's through introspection, self-discovery, and a willingness to question our assumptions that we can uncover our true potential and align ourselves with our spiritual purpose.
Now, this is where it gets really interesting for me. I never thought my liver could have anything to do with my spiritual life, but the sources link it to anger, even comparing it to Esau the Red One. What are your thoughts on this?
The idea here is that our internal systems, they reflect our spiritual state. The liver plays a crucial role in purifying the blood, and in a way, anger and resentment can be seen as impurities that can pollute our system. Just as the liver filters out, physical toxins, we must learn to process and release those negative emotions to maintain a healthy spiritual state.
That's a powerful analogy. So it's not just about physical health, but the health of our souls as well. The sources describe the liver's association with anger, pride, and the element of fire. What do you make of that connection?
Well, fire can be a powerful force for good,
Right.
providing warmth and light. But it can also be so destructive if left unchecked.
Right.
Similarly, anger and pride can be motivating forces, driving us to achieve great things. However, if these emotions become excessive or uncontrolled, they can lead to negativity and harm. The key is to find a balance, channeling these powerful energies in positive and constructive ways.
What about the spleen? It's connected to melancholy and the element of earth, according to the sources.
The spleen is responsible for filtering the blood
Yes.
and removing waste. Melancholy or sadness that can weigh us down and impede our spiritual progress. Just as the spleen filters out physical waste, we must find healthy ways to process and release sadness and negativity.
Okay.
Otherwise, these emotions can stagnate and hinder our growth.
So anger is like fire and sadness is like earth, weighing us down.
Uh-huh.
What about the kidneys? The sources connect them to giving and receiving advice.
Oh, interesting.
How does that work?
The kidneys, they filter waste from our bodies.
Right.
And bad advice can be seen as a form of spiritual waste.
Oh, I see.
Just as our kidneys discern what needs to be eliminated, we must be discerning about the advice we take in. It's about seeking guidance from trustworthy sources, those who have our best interests at heart
Right.
and can help us make choices that support our spiritual well-being.
The sources also talk about the eye's connection to our ability to perceive good and evil.
Our eyes are not just for physical sight, they are windows to our souls,
I like that.
revealing what we value and how we see the world. We have a choice in what we focus on. Choosing to see the good, the divine spark within ourselves and others, can uplift our souls and guide us toward a more fulfilling life.
And finally, the heart. The sources describe it as the chief of staff of the body, the seat of understanding and compassion.
The heart is essential for physical life, pumping blood throughout our bodies.
Right.
Symbolically, it represents the center of our being,
Yeah.
the source of our emotions, and our capacity for love and connection. Cultivating a compassionate heart, open to the needs of others, is essential for spiritual growth and living a meaningful life.
It's like all our organs are a team,
Yes,
each playing a critical role in our spiritual journey.
exactly.
Are there practical ways we can apply these teachings to our lives, purify our souls, and strengthen our connection to the divine?
Absolutely. The sources offer several powerful tools for spiritual growth, and we'll dive into those after a short break. Stay tuned. One of the most powerful tools we have for spiritual growth is prayer.
The sources describe prayer as like breathing in the moist spiritual air of Torah. It emphasizes the transformative power of connecting with something bigger than ourselves, like our souls need to breathe too.
Right. Exactly. Prayer allows us to communicate with the divine,
Right.
to express our gratitude, and to seek guidance. It's how we nourish our souls and align ourselves with a higher purpose.
The sources also really emphasize the importance of repentance, acknowledging our shortcomings and making things right. What role does repentance have in our spiritual growth?
Repentance is about recognizing our mistakes and owning up to our actions.
Oh.
It's a process of cleansing, purification, allowing us to let go of all that past negativity and move forward on our spiritual path with a renewed sense of purpose.
The sources even go as far as connecting repentance to allowing joy to flow through the body. It's a powerful idea that repentance can actually lead to joy. What are your thoughts on that?
It makes sense when you think about it. When we hold on to guilt and regret, it creates a blockage in our spiritual system. Repentance allows us to release those negative emotions and open ourselves up to experiencing joy and inner peace.
It's interesting that the sources also highlight the importance of what we eat. So what we eat impacts not only our physical health, but our spiritual well-being as well. It's like food for thought, literally.
What we consume nourishes our bodies and minds, and it can also impact our spiritual state. Choosing foods that are pure and wholesome, that can help to elevate our consciousness and support our spiritual growth.
The sources emphasize the need for patience in spiritual growth. They compare it to the 9 months it takes for a child to develop, contrasting it with the instant development Adam and Eve experienced before the sin.
That's right. Spiritual growth is a gradual process. It takes time, effort, and a willingness to learn and grow.
Right.
Just as a seed needs time to, germinate and blossom, our souls need time to cultivate and develop.
So we can't just expect to reach spiritual enlightenment overnight.
Exactly.
It's a journey that requires, dedication and perseverance.
And it's important to remember that we're not alone in this journey.
Right.
The sources talk about seeking guidance from Tzaddikim, those righteous individuals who can light our way.
It's like having a spiritual mentor, someone to help us navigate the challenges and stay focused on our goals.
Their wisdom and experience can be invaluable in helping us understand and apply these ancient teachings to our lives.
There's also this beautiful concept that each soul is a unique stone in the building of holiness. It suggests that we all have a part to play in something so much greater than ourselves.
Every soul is precious and has a unique contribution to make. By striving to live in alignment with our highest selves, we contribute to the collective good and help to create a more harmonious and compassionate world.
And then there's this connection between truth and peace.
Right.
The sources describe it as guarding the covenant, maintaining a harmonious relationship with God and with others.
Living in truth means aligning our thoughts, words, and actions with our deepest values. Peace is the natural outcome of living in harmony with ourselves and others.
It's like a ripple effect.
Yeah.
Our individual choices and actions can have such a huge impact on the world around us. If we cultivate inner peace and truth, we contribute to a more peaceful and harmonious world.
Absolutely. By embodying these principles in our lives, we become agents of positive change, radiating love, kindness, and compassion into the world.
This deep dive has been so insightful. It's incredible to think about the depth and complexity of the soul and how it's connected to our bodies and the spiritual realms.
It really is. These ancient teachings offer a wealth of wisdom and guidance for living a more meaningful and fulfilling life.
Right.
By applying these principles to our daily lives, we can embark on a journey of self-discovery, spiritual growth, and connection with the divine.
So, dear listener, as we wrap up this deep dive, here's something to ponder. If your body is a temple, what kind of energy are you inviting in? What thoughts are you dwelling on? What actions are you taking? Are you nourishing your soul and cultivating a sacred space within?
It's a question worth reflecting on. By making conscious choices that align with our spiritual values, we can create a life filled with purpose, joy, and connection to something much greater than ourselves.
Wow, that was a fascinating journey into the soul, wouldn't you say? It's amazing how these ancient teachings still have so much to offer for our lives today.
Absolutely. It's a good reminder that real wisdom, it's timeless, and that search for meaning and purpose, that's just part of being human.
I never would have thought that our organs could have such a deep spiritual significance. Like I always thought of my liver as, just something that helps with digestion, but now I see it in a whole new way.
Yeah, it's really something how the sources connect specific organs to our emotions and spiritual health. The liver with anger, spleen with sadness, kidneys with making good choices. It's a reminder that our physical and spiritual selves are so deeply connected.
It's like our bodies are a tiny mirror of the whole universe, reflecting all these spiritual forces and energies.
That's a good way to put it. And just as we try to maintain balance and harmony in our physical bodies, we have to do the same within our souls.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into the soul, dear listener, here's something I want you to think about. If your body is a temple, what kind of energy are you letting in?
What kinds of thoughts are you focused on? What are you putting into your body? What kind of people are you surrounding yourself with? Are you creating a space that nurtures your spirit?
That's a powerful image, isn't it? The idea that we can create a sacred space within ourselves, a temple where the divine can truly dwell.
It's a beautiful reminder that we're not just physical beings, but spiritual beings on a human journey.
And that journey of self-discovery and spiritual growth, it never really ends. It's all about making deliberate choices that align with our values and dreams, trying to be the best versions of ourselves that we can be.
And remembering that we don't have to do it alone. We have these ancient teachings as our guide, and we can always seek support from those who have walked this path before us.
This deep dive has been an incredible exploration of the soul and all its mysteries. It's given me so much to think about, and I hope it has for you too, dear listener.
Remember, the journey of the soul is a lifelong adventure filled with wonder and discovery. Keep searching, keep exploring, and let the light of your soul shine bright.
Until next time, may your journey be filled with meaning, purpose, and joy.